Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the course of Earth Science in our third quarter. For today, we are going to have our module number 2, which is entitled Magma. Okay? The most essential learning competency for today's lesson is to explain what happens when volcanoes erupt. Expectations are the following. First is to describe the formation and composition of magma. Second is to explain the effect of temperature and composition on its viscosity. Third, relate the characteristics of magma with the type of volcanic eruption. And the last one is to enumerate the material emissions of volcano and describe the material emissions from volcano to living things. And this lesson is anchored from the Division Made module from SDO Caloocan. But before we start, let us motivate ourselves by having a game. This game is familiar to you. Did you remember the Kahoot application that we had last time? Last quarter? For today, please open your browser and type kahoot.it on the browser. And I will give you the code for our game today. In this game, your score in game will be recorded and will serve as your activity also for today. Okay? Let's start. Did you enjoy the game? Those words and concepts that I use in the game are already the lessons that we are going to tackle this morning. Our lesson is all about magma and volcano. But do you know something about volcano? Or do you know some information about volcanoes, its kind and characteristics? Do you know some names of volcanoes found in our country? To answer those questions, kindly listen to our presentation today. Volcano is a rupture on the Earth's surface where the molten rocks, smoke, hot gases, and ashes are ejected. It is an opening on our planet wherein some molten materials inside the Earth will be emitted. And here are the parts of the volcano. On the volcano, you can see here an ash cloud and then a layer of ash going down the volcano. And the orange one here are the lava flow. You also have the seal. The opening of the volcano wherein molten rocks will be emitted is what we call crater. The vent is the path wherein magma can flow upward from the magma chamber. The lacolith, they also have the parasitic cone. But take note that we have three basic parts of the volcano, which are the summit. The summit can be found at the peak of the volcano here. The next one is the slope, and the lower ground of the volcano is what we call the base. Summit, slope, and base are the three basic parts of the volcano, but there are other parts that I mentioned a while ago. Okay? Based on the illustration, you have seen the different parts of the volcano. At the center of the volcano, you can see the magma chamber wherein it contains a huge amount of magma, and due to extreme pressure, it will find its way out. That's why explosion happens. But the question is, what is magma? What are the different types of magma, and how can we determine the flow of lava? Before we talk about that, and for us to answer those questions, let's have one activity. In this activity, you will learn something or you can have some hint about the concept, characteristic, type, and kinds of magma, parts of the volcano, and anything about volcanoes. You have to take note of the things that you can learn from this activity. A while ago, we have played the Kahoot application. This time, I want you to type on your browser the quizzes.com. Okay, and then I will give you again the code. This is the second application that we are going to have today, quizzes.com. Okay, let's start. Okay, I hope you enjoy the game and you learn something about the things that we have to to find out this morning. So as of this moment, let us now know the difference between magma and lava. Anyone here who knows about the difference between the two? Magma and lava, are they similar or different in what way? So magma is the molten or the extremely hot liquid positioned under the surface of the earth. But when we say lava, it is the molten material which has been emitted from the volcano to the surface of the earth. So when the molten hot liquid is still inside the volcano, it is called magma. But when the volcano explodes and magma or hot liquid emitted or ejected, it will now be called lava. So in other words, magma when it is inside, lava when it is outside. Okay? And as the volcano explodes, lava will flow into the Earth's surface, but the speed of the lava or the travel, how fast or how slow that the lava will flow depends on what we call viscosity. What is viscosity? It is the liquid's resistance to flow. So this will be the characteristic of a lava for us to determine if the flow is slow or faster. How? When the lava is high in viscosity, the lava flows slowly. But when the lava is low in viscosity, the lava flows faster. So for you to further understand what do we mean by viscosity, please take a look at this example. These are what we call, these are example of viscous liquid. Syrup, condensed milk, honey. Are you familiar with those liquids? So what are the characteristics that you can see? In syrup, condensed milk, and honey, you can see that they flow slowly because they have a high viscosity. Viscosity is also the property that describes the thickness or stickiness of a liquid. The thicker the liquid is, the higher the viscosity. And more sticky means more viscous. So syrup, condensed milk, honey, they are thick liquid and they are sticky also. That's why they have high viscosity and in short, they will flow slowly. So just like that, if the lava is high in viscosity, meaning that lava is thick, sticky, and flow slowly. Okay? On the other hand, when we say not viscous liquid, here are the example, water, alcohol, acetone, what did you notice? They all flow faster. Why? Because the viscosity of water, alcohol, and acetone are less compared to syrup, condensed, and honey. So this is just a comparison. These liquids are just a comparison to lava for you to understand what does it mean when we say high and low viscosity. So they flow faster because they are not thick and they are not sticky compared to this kind of liquid. You know what? There are some factors that affect the viscosity. First in line is the silica content of the lava, the temperature of the lava, and the amount of gas contained by a lava. And for you to elaborate or for you to understand further these factors, let us see the next slide. Let us now enumerate the factors affecting the flow of lava. First in line is the silica content. What does it mean? The higher the silica content, the higher the higher viscosity. On other hand, the lower the silica content, the lower the viscosity. When lava contains high amount of silica, it flows slowly. But when the lava contains less amount of silica, it flows faster. The lava is more viscous when it contains high amount of silica compared to the lava that contains less amount of silica. Okay? Another factor that affects the viscosity is the temperature. The higher the temperature, the lower its viscosity and vice versa. The lower the temperature, the higher the viscosity. What does it mean? When lava is hot, it can flow faster, but when the lava cools, it flows slowly. When you say high temperature, hot, When we say low temperature, cold. So hot lava or high temperature lava will flow faster. But on the other hand, the cold lava or low temperature lava will flow slowly because the viscosity is now going up. Okay, so they have inversely relation. So meaning to say when the lava is hot, it will flow faster because the viscosity is low. But when the lava is cold, it will flow slowly because the viscosity is high. And the last one is the amount of gas. The higher the amount of gas, the lower the viscosity, meaning when the lava contains low amount of gas, it flows faster. But when the lava contains high amount of gas, it flows slowly. So I hope you understand the three factors affecting the viscosity of the lava. Because as of this moment, we have to move on to the types of magma. You know, there are three types of magma, and they are very different from one another. Let us see what are the characteristics of each magma. We have first the mafic or the basaltic magma. What does what are the characteristics? The mafic or basaltic magma are high in iron, magnesium, and calcium. It has a low amount of gas, low in potassium and sodium. The temperature range from 1000 to 1200 degrees Celsius. It has a low it has a low in silica content, meaning least viscous or can flow faster. So mafic or basaltic magma are fast-flowing magma because it is less viscous compared to another two. The second type is the andesitic magma. It has a moderate amounts of minerals. The temperature range from 800 to 1000 degrees Celsius. Intermediate amount of gas, intermediate amount of silica, meaning to say it has an intermediate level of viscosity, so average level of viscosity only. And the last type of magma is what we call the felsic or rhyolitic magma. It is high in potassium and sodium. The temperature range from 650 to 800 degrees Celsius. It is the most viscous type of magma compared to mafic and andesitic, meaning it can flow slowly. Okay? High amount of gas, low in iron, magnesium, and calcium. Most viscous meaning greatest amount of silica are present in felsic or rhyolitic. That's why it can flow slowly. Okay? So for you to understand further the type of magma, the volcano parts, characteristic, and how does the volcano erupt, I have here one video clip from the YouTube. I will give you some link afterwards. But let us watch together the video about volcano and how it erupts. Okay? So take note of the following. So I hope you learned something from the video. Let us enumerate more, elaborate more. Here are the types of volcanic eruption. We have five. The first one is the phreatic or hydrothermal. It happens when magma heats up the surface water or hot rocks come in contact with water. It is characterized by ash columns. An example of that is the Mount St. Helens in Washington. Another type is the phreatomagmatic, wherein the eruption is described to be violent, which may occur when magma and water come in contact with one another. Third one is what we call the strombolian type of eruption, wherein it is characterized by fountain of lava. Example is the Eruption volcano in Costa Rica. Fourth one is volcanic, characterized by tall eruption, and the tall eruption can rise up to 20 kilometers high. And the last one is the Plinian eruption, which is characterized by excessively type of eruption. Example of that is the Pinatubo volcano that we have here in our country. Okay, so listen very well because this is the reason why do volcanoes erupt. First is that deep inside the Earth's interior, we can find a hot liquid boiling and bubbling. And at the core of the Earth, it contains so much amount of heat. And that heat from the core will be transferred to the mantle, and that heat will melt the rocks deep inside the earth. This magma is lighter than the surrounding layer or rock, so it will rise up to the mantle. And due to the increase in pressure, magma will continue to rise up to the vent of the volcano. And then the heated rocks are now called molten rocks, and that molten rocks is also known as the magma. Magma when it is inside the volcano. But when the magma explode or the volcano explode, that magma will flow outside the volcano, so it will not be called lava. When magma reaches the crater of the volcano, volcanic eruption occurs. But again, I want you to watch one video clip so that you can understand more why do volcanoes erupt. So get your notebook so that you can write down important information in the following video clips that I will show you. So I hope you learned something. Do you understand the lesson well? Because before we end up, let's have some quiz regarding the lesson that we have today. And the quiz that we are going to have online now will serve as your quiz number 1 in third quarter. And you don't need to answer the Google form. This is already the quiz for today. Okay? Online quiz. So get ready to answer this quiz. The third application that we are going to have today is the menti.com. I want you to open again your browser and type menti.com, and also I will give you the code for our quiz today. So take note, this quiz it is the quiz number 1 in your third quarter, and you don't need to answer Google form. So all the participants here can take the quiz. It's only up to 5 items. So let's start. I hope you learned something from today's lesson. All the things that we have discussed are very important, and earth science is one branch of science that is very significant to people's life. And also volcano, we all know that one of our famous volcano erupted, so we have to take safety precaution about that. So before we end up, I want everybody to be reminded of the following. Here are the proper way of sending message to your teacher, because I can hear some reports from your teacher that some of you are not aware of the proper ways of sending message. So I will give you now some tips for you to follow. First, in your message, you have to start with a greeting. Good afternoon, good morning, good day, good evening, so that you can have a sign of respect for your teacher. After that, you have to introduce yourself, because we have in a virtual reality, and of course, we as teacher, we don't know you personally, and we have a lot of students, so you have to introduce yourself uh, always when you start a message. After introducing, state now your purpose. What is the reason why are you chatting your teacher? Is there any purpose? Please type it. And then ask for clarification. The last one is to end with conversation. So you have to end the conversation with gratitude, like saying thank you for the response, like that. So for me in science, I am not online anytime. So this is my schedule. Take note of this. Monday to Friday only. You can chat me from Monday to Friday only, from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. And this is my FB name. This is my second FB. This is intended for educational purposes. This is where you can message me from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. from Monday to Friday. So I will be offline from 11:30 onwards. So this is my schedule from time to time. So don't be confused, or Don't feel hard if I will not reply, because I will only reply if the question is very important or you message me in the following time slot. Okay? So, congratulations also for accomplishing your quiz today. All you have to submit now is your module number 2 in third quarter. We will be having our module number 1 next week. So, module number 2 is the only thing that that you are going to submit today or this week, because you already taken your online quiz. For your performance task is all about reporting. So to all the participants today, all you need to submit is your module number 2. And to all the students who attend the Google Meet this morning, your task is one reporting for the whole third quarter. But if you cannot attend, do all the activities posted in Google Classroom. Okay? So meaning to say, all the participants that attend today, you will be having your reporting. And this reporting is your performance task already. Okay? So I will now group you into 4. So you have to know your group mates, because next week we will start reporting. So I will be hearing your voice now, and you will be the one to explain about the topic that I'm going to give you. Okay, so I will just post the topic, but before we end up, we will start now our grouping session. It will be based on the participants that attended the Google Meet this morning. So, dun tayo sa mga participants.